Result Call. We appreciate your time and interest in SPINDO, and today we will walk you through our first quarter 2026 performance, including key operational highlights and our outlook going forward. And there will be also a Q&A session led by Pa Johannes and Pa Teja. Without further ado, we're going to start with the presentation. Okay. Now, for the first quarter highlight, overall, we see the first quarter of 2026 as a stable start of the year, despite some short-term timing impacts. Our performance continues to reflect the underlying strength of our business model, supported by a diversified product base, disciplined cost management, and a strong balance sheet. Now, Spindo recorded revenue of approximately 1.22 trillion rupiah, representing a slight decline of 4.6% year-on-year. This softer revenue mainly reflects timing differences in project-based deliveries, particularly for higher margin products such as API and spiral pipes, which are expected to be recognized more in the upcoming quarters. Gross profit came in at 213 billion rupiah with a gross margin of 17.5%. While this is slightly lower compared to last year, it is important to highlight that this is largely driven by temporary product mix shifts rather than structural margin pressure. At the operating level, we achieved notable efficiency improvements, with operating expenses declining by more than 14% year-on-year. This reflects ongoing cost optimization initiatives as well as changes in accrual methodology for THR and bonuses, which are now distributed more evenly throughout the year. As a result, our net profit reached 77 billion rupiah, with net margin remaining relatively stable at 6.3%. Overall, profitability remains resilient despite a softer top line. Now we are moving on to balance sheet and financial position. We continue to strengthen our financial foundation. As of the first quarter, total assets increased to 8.9 trillion rupiah, supported by growth in equity to 5.7 trillion rupiah. At the same time, total liabilities declined slightly, reflecting our continued deleveraging strategy. One of our key priorities has been to improve our debt profile. We have been actively shifting from short-term to long-term debt maturities, which enhances financial stability and reduces refinancing risk. This is reflected in our debt-to-equity ratio, which remains low and stable at around 0.556 times. On the liquidity side, our current ratio remains strong at close to 298% or 3 times, indicating a very comfortable short-term liquidity position. We would also like to emphasize that our business is inherently seasonal, where the second half tends to be stronger than the first half. Therefore, first quarter performance should not be directly annualized while assessing full year outlook. Now we are moving on to cash flow performance. We recorded net cash from operating activities in the first quarter of around 11.5 billion rupiah. This decline is primarily driven by working capital movements, including timing of customer collections and payments to suppliers, rather than any deterioration in underlying business fundamentals. On the investment side, we recorded cash outflows of approximately 136 billion rupiah, mainly related to ongoing capital expenditure, including the development of Plant 7 and capacity expansion initiative. These investments are strategic in nature and align with our long-term growth goals. From a financing perspective, cash outflows remained relatively stable, reflecting active management of our bank facilities. Importantly, we ended the quarter with a strong cash position of 806 billion rupiah, which provides ample liquidity. Overall, while quarterly cash flow can fluctuate, our financial position remains solid and well managed. Now we are moving to shareholder returns. We continue to focus on delivering sustainable returns over time. Both return on equity and return on asset have shown improving trends since 2023, reflecting a better profitability and more efficient capital utilization. While there is some normalization of the ROE and ROA in the first quarter, this is in line with earnings movement in the quarter. We remain committed to our target of approximately 14% ROE and 10% ROA. In addition, we continue to maintain a consistent dividend policy. Our latest dividend distribution delivered a yield of around 6%, balancing reinvestment for growth and return to shareholders. Now, there is a change in our accrual methodology for THR and bonuses, which is now spread evenly throughout the year instead of in the before is in a certain month, including March, September, and December. Now we move on to our product mix. One of the key developments in the quarter is the continued shift toward higher value added products. We saw strong growth in furniture and automotive, which now contribute 25% and 26% of total sales, respectively. It is also important to highlight that strip and plate sales increased significantly, which impacted the overall margin profile in the quarter, as these products typically carry lower margins compared to project-based pipes. However, we have a healthy backlog of higher margin on orders, and we expect margin normalization and improvement starting from the second quarter onwards. Now we move on to procurement and supply chain. During the quarter, we slightly increased our reliance on imported materials to around 63% compared to last year of 57%. This was mainly due to temporary supply disruptions from certain local upstream suppliers as well as pricing consideration. Importantly, this demonstrates our flexibility in sourcing, allowing us to switch suppliers quickly to ensure continuity of production and maintain product quality. Our supplier base remains well diversified, which helps mitigate supply chain risk and also supports cost optimization. Now we move on to our 5-year outlook. Now, SPINDO continues to execute its long-term roadmap with a target of 1 trillion of net profit by 2027. A key pillar of this strategy is the development of Plant 7 in Gresik, which will expand our capacity in large diameter and higher specification pipes. This positions us to capture growth opportunities in sectors such as oil and gas infrastructure and energy transition. We are also enhancing our operational capabilities through automation, Industry 4.0 integration, and supply chain improvements, which will further improve efficiency and margins. Now, this is our Plan 7 project phase. Now we can skip this one and we move on to the market outlook. Pak Johannes will present this part. Pak Johannes.
Yeah, thank you everyone. I think I will not be too long about the market outlook because we've been discussing this for a couple of times. Start by in general, we foresee that 2026 should be a good year for us due to tailwind of government initiatives and a program. Yeah. However, in the recent time, please move forward. Yeah, we saw some shortage on steel products due to the disruption of supply chain, as well as the implementation of a new SNI by the government. However, again, this is affected everyone, which means it will be an advantage for Spindo who have sufficient raw materials. Going forward, we believe there's still pressure on the steel price, but the demand will support the steel price. Pak Teja, maybe you wanna add on the market outlook on the steel, Pak, especially on domestic market in regards to the supply and the demand.
Yeah, for steel, Indonesian steel, some maybe didn't really know about the Indonesian steel because some the Indonesian steel only one two is an integrated mill. I mean they produce from the iron ore is the Krakatau Posko and the Texin in Borongali, and the other is only produce rolling mill. They have to buy slab and they make it hot rock coil on the slab. So most of the cheap slab which source is mainly came from Russia or Iran. Yeah, of course Iran is some there's a way basically yeah there's some sanction, right? Yeah, but there is a way to people can import from Iran. But before the war, it's already have some problem already. Just before the war, and after the war, of course, they become worsen, and a lot of contract has been cancelled. Yeah, that's why some mills like Lautan, Baja, and Eurasia, and also Kratos also face this kind of problem. They could not get the slab accordingly. As some shortage happen and steel price also increase because of the other slab company also takes chance also to supply slab with higher price. Yeah, so this is the problem. That's why we see some opportunity for us to enter this kind of market because of some problem with the material. Some of our competitors have a problem with the material, and we can supply, to replace our competitors. Yeah. So we see is problem is take maybe sometimes because when they buy the new slab also takes sometimes. As you know before, last time so I already explained about some of the mill in local, and we like to be to use this kind of local mill because of their faster delivery. But now their delivery also quite long. Not like before, they can deliver like Lautan, Indonesia can deliver Krakatau the same thing, deliver 2 weeks, 3 weeks when we submit some inquiry to them. Yeah, but now delivery become longer, like 3 months. Now we order a delivery already become August, July, August. Yeah, so that's why we see some shortage. It takes more longer time because of this. So now some material or slab price already come, but not so much. Then also, as you know, the price also quite high. Yeah, so there's something. Also some SNI. SNI also another issue because of some mills already got SNI, but they cannot register important name in the system. So we don't know when they can register. That's why some mill also hesitate to supply to Indonesia because of when they supply, maybe customer cannot take the material, then they have a problem. Yes, that's why they prefer not to supply. Like maybe the Japanese mill and some Korean mill also same. not willing to supply to Indonesia because of this SNI issue. Of course, they got already, like Nippon Steel, JB, they got a POSCO, so they got SNI already, but they cannot register the importer name in SINAS, Indonesian system. This is the case. Yeah. And we see also the other things we see because it's already getting to the second quarter. Yeah. So some projects, a lot of projects coming. So this also become for us is more opportunity than we can grab the market more than before.
Pak Teja, can you discuss a bit the impact of increase in oil as well as especially plastic products, Pak, in regards to the competition with the HDPE?
Yeah. Yeah, because of the Iran war, so mostly the supply of the plastic resins is also come from Iran. I mean, not Iran, from Middle East, and because of the Hormuz Strait is closed by the Iran, then the shipment from the Middle East cannot come to Indonesia. So this a lot of shortage in the plastic related product. Yeah, also our one of our competitor is HDPE pipes. Yeah, because of this problem. Also, the other things also price increased quite a lot. Yeah, I think almost double. Yeah, because of this problem, and because of the war also, what is the impact, especially in the shipment in the freight cost. Freight cost also increased a lot, and so make the price of it become higher. And what happened also the other things is because of the war, no? So suddenly also another price also increased, like scrap price also increased quite a lot. And also the one of the important thing also means maybe we don't really ignore this product is so important in this industry is a server. Yeah, server price also increased quite a lot.
Okay, thank you, Pak Teja. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Pak Johannes and Pak Teja, for the explanation. Now we can move on to the ESG aspect. We continue to invest in sustainability, including solar panel installations across multiple plants. We are currently having solar cells in Unit 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. Now, this is our CSR initiative, which have been held in Pacitan, Wonosobo, and Gunung Kidul in 2024 and 2025. And there are currently the CSR team are currently surveying the location around Tasikmalaya in West Java. Now, as for guidance and outlook, the first quarter of 2026 reflects a stable and resilient performance with temporary impacts from product mix and timing. We continue to maintain strong profitability, a solid balance sheet, healthy liquidity, and clear visibility on growth through our project pipeline and strategic investment. Looking ahead, we expect stronger performance in the coming quarters, supported by backlog execution, margin normalization, and continued demand from key sectors. Now, this is our selected projects during from the start of the year until April. Now we can some key highlights here. There are two projects regarding Sekolah Rakyat in Maluku area, and also there are project for PT PGN or Perusahaan Gas Negara. Okay, thank you. We have concluded our explanation for the first quarter of 2026 performance. Now we can move on to the Q&A session led by Pak Johannes and Pak Teja.
Okay, thank you, Priska. Um, the first question is, please elaborate the current market competition in the steel pipe sector and the opportunities and also the threat of SPINDO to needs to anticipate. Yeah, I think in the steel pipe, the mapping of the competition is not much different from previous years. It's dominated by only a handful of big players like ourselves, Bakri Pipe, and Krakatau Pipe. We have a big player also in the automotive sector, which is ISTW, but they do not participate in other markets such as oil and gas or infra. We have other players in the spiral pipe, but they do not participate in auto and maybe some furniture. So basically, the competition mapping is not much different. In regards to in this year, yeah, of course, as Pak Teja mentioned before, we have challenges, yeah, faced by all the players. And with this kind of condition, Spindo is among of the best with financial strength. Yeah. Therefore, we believe we have one of the um, competitive advantage, yeah, to gain profit from this crisis. Maybe Pataji, you want to add on that on the competition market of the steel pipe?
Yeah, I think currently, especially this year, after the war, I think the competition mainly is not because of the price, but whether you have the material or not. Yeah, so when just everybody looking for the quick delivery, so that's why because they are a bit worrying also to keep so much inventory because they don't know what happened after the war. Maybe the price will going down or whatever, so they don't really confidence to keep so much material. That's why now the competition mainly whether you have the material or no. So that's why we have more advantage compared to our competitor now because we have a lot of material and we can supply more and more, yeah, much more and more.
Okay, thank you, Pak Teja. Another question is our target for this year. Yeah, actually, up until now, I can say that we are so far on track. Our April sales is not bad, yeah, Pak Teja. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, our April sales is really not bad. Yeah, I if I if I cannot say it's good, quite good. Yeah, but of course we have to be still agile and aggressive for the next month. Yeah, so far it's good. For the year end, yeah, provided the condition is not get any worse, we still believe we can achieve our target. Um, yeah, I think. Wait, is there any question from YouTube? No.
if you can explain regarding about the oil and gas.
Yeah. Sorry, we have one question from Angus. Please, Angus.
Oh yes, yeah. I was just I wrote something in the chat, but no, I was really wanted to ask you. Obviously, there was no contribution from the oil and gas segment in the first quarter. I mean, do you see the oil and gas segment becoming more important as the rest of the year goes on? And do you think, obviously, the Indonesian government seems to be fast tracking, some oil and gas projects in order to move towards self-sufficiency. And will that benefit Spindo from a demand perspective?
All right. So first, let me explain about the year-on-year difference. Yeah. First quarter last year, we are delivering Cisem, Cirebon Semarang pipeline. Yeah. Whereby this year we will be delivering Dumai Semanggi, but not on the first quarter. Yeah, it's delayed. I think on May or June. So it's going to be on the It will be reflected on the second quarter. On your second remarks about acceleration, yeah. actually, we saw some pressure, yeah, especially from impacts and also another player in the what you call it the gas blocks, yeah. So we saw some initiative by the government to accelerate the gas oil and gas sector. So yes, in accordance also to Pak Teja remarks, yeah, we will be enjoying demand from that sector, especially when our Unit 7 fully operate this year end. Yeah, so next year we will be supplying to Masela and other gas projects. Um, Pak Teji, you want to add on that, Pak? There's
Yeah.
also question from Pak Andri. Uh, oh, okay. You can answer that first, Pak. Thank you.
Yeah. We have several oil and gas, like Pak Joe mentioned already, and we have also another project like in the Pertamina Hulu Rokan. And Pertamina government opposed Pertamina to do downstream. So as we see so many projects also for downstream. And beside of that, also we have several projects also for city gas pipe project. We supply pipes also for this kind of a city gas pipe project. And, and beside of that, of course, not only in the next. So we because the 20-inch machine, if we can start run production, and maybe in the fourth quarter, so we can get some also project for the not only for line pipe but also for drilling pipes, for OCTG, but also for export, not only for domestic but also for export. So they maybe export to Canada and US.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Teja. Uh, yes, we also begin to receive a lot of inquiry from Middle East. Yeah, hopefully we can also establish a strong presence in the Middle East going forward. Pak Andre is asking, is there any competition from Chinese steel producer that wanting to open pipe factory in Indonesia, Pak Teja?
Yeah, last time there was one of the biggest pipe mill. They are come here. They came here and meet us also, and so meet other competitor as well, and look some opportunity maybe to invest here to Indonesia. I think when I learned from this kind of, they don't want to start from zero. So that's why they would like to have some like a joint venture with the other pipe mills, and they would like to have a majority shares. And that's why nobody want to give the majority shares to this company. That's why they didn't come. There is several pipe mills in come to Indonesia, but this is not a very like a famous pipe mill or a big pipe mill in China. But this is mainly like a new player. They come here and set up the small pipe mills with like a small diameters, because the machine is maybe not so expensive, and they start selling the pipe mainly not for project, mainly for the like retail, like for housing, for fencing, for this kind of pipe, and also no standard, no HNI, they can only sell cheap price. So then basically we don't compete with this kind of pipe makers, because we are selling mainly for the standard pipe and also for project base.
Okay, thank you, Pak Teja. Angus, does that answer your question?
Yes, thanks. Yeah, no, it sounds like you should see an increase in demand with these new fields coming on
Yes.
and all the
Yeah.
related investments. Yeah.
We will see some grip on the second quarter.
I was just going to say, Plant 7. What you expect that to open by the end of this year, or will that be a ramp up to the
No,
end?
actually, the smaller machine we started to produce, I think around June, Pak Teja, yeah.
8 inch.
Yeah, the 8-inch is starting to produce around June, and the larger diameter
Production maybe in May, then hopefully we can
will be
start
on the
commercial
fourth quarter.
production in June.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
20-inch in September, I think, September, October. Yeah, for 20-inch mill.
Yeah. All right. Okay, just one question from who is there? Okay. Pak Teja, how do you overall see 2026, Pak?
Yeah, we see 2026 is very challenging. Yeah, because a lot of question about whether government cut the budget, but we see still projects still there. Yeah, like our capital, new capital, IKN Nusantara, also start to run again. Yeah, we see some last time I've been there. Also, I see several projects started. Yes, especially one of the biggest project is one the what you call is the parliament, what you call the legislative and judicative, and some also for the uh, uh, yeah, that too is a very big project. I think about the budget is almost like 20 trillion rupiah. So it's already started, and some also for the expansion, another office for the uh, Nusantara Authority, yeah, office. And the other one is you see, like in the property sectors also, yeah, some started, some a lot of project also in Semarang in the Central Java Mall. As you need like 23 mall is under Java BK OT operation, and now Pakuan Mall going to start the construction also, even bigger than the 23 mall is under Java BK one. And also Pakuan will also have one another big project in Batam Island. I hope also they're going to start the construction soon. In Surabaya, also some expansion for Pakuan Mall in the Surabaya, Pakuan Mall 5. I think I saw the buildings already there. They're going to build mall also and also some apartment. I think 2 tower apartment. Already, I mean, the structure is also going up. Yeah. So, yes, the project still there. Yes. Also some, of course, the industry, the manufacturing side also a lot of big projects are coming. And one is the smelters of the copper and gold, I think, in Gresik, in Chipre. Yeah, last time our president so do this kind of groundbreaking for this smelter. And under the Kalantara, I think, the mine ID also. And some project also we see for the what they fertilizer and the Bukal team. Also, they're going to build I think 7 factory to support the what we call the downstreaming for the food industry. Yeah. So then what's it? The food stability, food security. Yeah, to support this our government project for the food security. So about 77 trillion rupiah. So it's still quite a lot of project. Let's see. So that's why I believe, even we, I quite confidence we can this year maybe we can sell more than 20% from last year.
Okay. Pak Teja, I think last question, yeah. Maybe we have already discussed this a bit, but can you elaborate more on the raw material condition and how that affected Spindo compared to affecting our competitor, which have maybe a smaller size or strength?
Yeah. Now basically the raw material is one of the very important for us, very one of the key for our competitiveness. Yeah, it's also raw material. So we see some potential about the shortage of material, and also we book a lot of raw material to prepare this kind of problem. Also, we prepare the SNI problem. So we ship the material before the SNI. That's why we don't have a problem mainly for our material. So we quite believe we can grab more market shares. Yeah, especially even though in the automotive sectors, even though maybe some like automotive, especially for four-wheelers, the demand is not so good because of the EV, also because of other issue. But we can grab the market shares from our competitors. Yeah, so you can see our sales in the our unit 5 Karawang is going up. Yeah, yeah, not going down. It's going up, even though the
Yeah.
automotive is especially four-wheel is going down. Yeah. So
So in general, the raw material condition also give positive effect to us, Pak, yeah?
yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you, Chris. I think that's all.
Okay, thank you, Pak Johannes and Pak Teja, for the insightful question and answer section. Now, this is the end of the result call. Thank you for joining, and we are looking forward to seeing you in the next Spindo, Spindo event. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.